Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of RVBusiness Capitol Talk, sponsored by Ericcel Inc. and also available as a podcast. I'm Rick Kessler with RV Business. With me, as always, Sherm Goldenberg from RV Business. And joining the two of us today is Ron Fenech. Ron, of course, is one of five partners, owners of Brinkley RV, his brother Bill being one of the others, and the other three would be Micah Staley, Nate Goldenberg, and Ryan Thwaites. Ron, thanks very much for joining us today.
Oh, happy to be here. Love it.
I don't know if you had a chance to look at your calendar, but next month is May, and that would be technically your 1-year anniversary of Brinkley RV going public.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that. I hadn't really thought about it in that terms. In some ways, it feels like maybe a lot longer than that.
Has the 1-year rollout gone more or less as you expected?
I would say we had very high expectations about what we could do, maybe, how the dealers would receive us. I would say we're further along in many ways. We had a high bar for quality, and we're shipping terrific quality, which we're not producing a lot of units yet. We're up to 6 a day with the Model Z, but every step we've taken, we've been able to hang out of the quality, and so I'm really pleased with that. The dealer response is tremendous. We really had the pick of the litter of really partnering with a lot of great dealer bodies throughout the country, which in this business, you're only good as your dealer body. So we've looking back on that, I'm real pleased with where we are there. And then, just the people who have shown an interest to come to work with us, all these things are vital. You can't build a great company. So, and then we came out with Model Z, holding our breath. Micah just nailed it with the design. The reaction's been tremendous to it. And a couple months ago, we started introducing the Model G. Our reception is almost better than the Z was in different ways. Being second, we're starting to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of trust out there with the buying customer. And so, yeah, I would say, reflecting on it, I'd be probably more than pleased to have predicted that we'd be where we're at. We have a long way to go. We're young. We're a small company. Really, a lot to get done yet, but we're in a good spot.
You just completed construction of your first building for manufacturing on the southeast side of Goshen, right?
Yes. Yeah, we have 3 buildings going up. 2 of them will be assembly plants, and 1 will be a lamination plant. We just in the last month moved from a temporary plant into the permanent building. That's been nice. It's been a little bit of an adjustment. In some ways, the guys have got used to working in a real confined area, which is efficient, and getting more space. Could be a little intimidating in some ways. It's kind of fun watching them transition to the bigger plant, but it's going to be really good for us because we built oversized plants, 175,000 square foot buildings, and it puts us in a position where almost all of our parts will be inside. You guys have been around a lot. You visit the RV plants typically, and a lot of them that I've been involved with, you store a lot of stuff outside under shelters, and you get the ice and dirt. It's just not the best environment. So we felt like it would be worth the expense to build a plant that all the materials could be inside, so that it just gives you a better shot at having a better part to put on the unit when the time comes. So
Ron,
that's happening.
Go ahead, Rick.
I don't want you to
complete. Go ahead.
I just didn't want you to overlook that it's also air conditioned.
Yeah. That actually, the guys made that decision early on. The industry, we're in Indiana. July and August get hot. August can get unbearable. So part of it was just philosophical. We're trying to breed a culture where people really buy into what we're saying about quality. And so they look at the choices you make. And we made a decision early on, we're going to put air conditioning in. It's not inexpensive. It's not inexpensive to run. However, in July, August, when they've still got 4 units to do, and they're sweaty and tired and just want to go home, I think it's going to make a big difference for us. And so one is just what it does that day when it's super hot. The other thing it does is it helps us attract the kind of quality workers that we want. We've done a lot of little things we hope that will attract the workers that are going to be aligned with us in terms of our expectations of what we want to build.
How many employees at this point?
About 230, 240, somewhere in there. The only reason I'm hesitating is we're just starting to increase our staffing for the G as that plant is starting to ramp up. But it's about 240, I'd say, right now. Which 1 year in is a quick. I mean, I say that number, it's like, holy cow. That's probably worth touching on a little bit. When you look at what we've done versus prior startups that we and I've been involved with, we're spending a lot more money, a lot more time bringing people in, getting them trained, and trying to do things up front, again, that lead to better quality and better customer experience sooner than later. So yeah, 240 for what we're producing is a big number, but I think the results are showing themselves already in the products that we're shipping.
As of today, you're still producing in a leased facility on the south side of Goshen that's not on your 250-acre campus, correct?
Correct. Yep. That's you might call it a startup plant. We've leased it for a couple of years, and part of it was we were ready to go, and our plants weren't ready. So, what do? You have all these people, a certain amount of momentum, and there's a time to launch a product that's more advantageous than others. So we lease the building. As it's turning out, it's kind of been a blessing for us because it forces you to not running any faster than you really should when you're starting out. So we had great success ramping up with the Model Z in that plant. Model Z is now in our first building that is ready. Model G, our luxury toy hauler, is ready for production, and that has now moved into that plant you're referring to. And we'll build 1 or 2 a day in there, waiting for the big plant to be ready sometime in maybe July or August.
Okay. While plant number 2, construction plant, is already underway, correct?
Yeah, it'll be ready. They're saying July, so July, August this summer, we will be producing Model Gs in that new facility. But in the meantime, our startup plant that we have will be building Model Gs, 1 a day, then 2 a day. We're just now loading that plant.
Acceptance in the field of your new products, how would you describe it?
Better, really good. Yeah, really. I mean, a few things. One is acceptance of the product has been tremendous. Probably exceeded my expectations. Probably more astounding is how many people already know about us. It's amazing with social media how it's just different than it has been historically in our industry, because we're an industry that really can't afford to advertise, so it would be word of mouth and just take years to do what we've gotten done in the last year. So I think people are learning pretty quickly what we're about. Customers talk to each other, and the word has spread. So acceptance of the product and the company both has been really tremendous.
Ron, has this I don't know if you want to call it a downturn or whatnot, but this current state of the RV market, has that been a factor at all in what you guys have been doing the last several months?
No, and that's not even any credit to us. I mean, maybe a little bit it is to us, but when you're starting up, there's so long as you have the dealer body that's interested in you, there's that ramp up phase. So I would have expected, almost regardless of what's going on in the economy, that we probably do okay in terms of orders. Now, to your point, though, maybe what is surprising is it's certainly not anything like it had been the prior couple of years. That combined with dealers kind of flushing out their 2022s, man, the number of retails that we've gotten has been a real pleasant surprise. So not just the dealers bringing them in, it's it's the amount of retail. I think we're actually helping our dealers because there's a lot of margin compression this year because they're forced to move out the 2022s at break even at losses, and they know with our product, because it's limited supply, they can hang on to some degree of fair profit margin. So yeah, what's going on out there ultimately is going to have an impact on us, but not so much this year.
Okay. So as far as the product and the dealers, where do you stand with the assembly of your dealer network? Are you, what percent of that is done?
Well, I would say that probably 90% of the markets, I would say, not that they've received product from us yet, but we know where we're going because there's a mutual interest and we have pretty good direction on where we're going to go. So yeah, it's again different than in the past because it usually takes several years to kind of build out that dealer body. We pretty well know where we're going. It's just we're trying not to just ship a dealer one unit and then he's got to wait 2 months to get another one. That really doesn't do anybody any good. So Micah and now Nate are both really regulating where this product is going. You might ask me what percentage of those dealers have received product, and I don't even know for sure. I would bet it's close to 50 to 60% of the dealers probably have received some product by this point.
I assume your dealer network is a who's who, as far as if we would see a list of names.
You'd recognize them.
I figured.
Yeah. And I don't want to be overly bold about it, man. Dealers are vital. And we had a lot of really good dealers. I think they knew what we were going to do with quality. They knew what we were going to do in terms of design and just kind of how we do business and have done business over the years was pretty inviting to them. So it was real fortunate for us how it's unfolded. But that whole landscape has changed totally. I mean, with consolidation, well, you've got several big dealer groups that own big shares of market share. And so it's a lot more difficult as a manufacturer to know how to navigate that because not all the dealer groups are created equal. They're at various stages of their lives. You're going to do business with the dealer groups, but how far do you commit? You don't want to have too many eggs in one basket. So it's a real challenge for us. To regulate that, not be insulting to the dealer, and but have enough that you're substantial to them and can have an impact, so that you have some influence over the care of the customer. A lot of it's tougher now putting together a dealer body than it used to be, from my perspective.
So when we walk,
we could spend a whole session on that. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah.
So when we walk the aisles there, the corridors at the Elkhart Open House in September, we're going to see you guys there as more of a resident of the industry, not a startup anymore, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we're still small potatoes, but yeah, we'll have a couple of units to show.
I suspect you would.
Well, Ron, why don't you take us through, what's next for Brinkley? You mentioned the Model G production plant in the summertime, lamination facility not soon or not long after that.
Right.
What's next? Product-wise, infrastructure, buildings, whatnot?
Well, a lot of what's on my mind, in our mind right now, is we know what kind of product lineup, and generally, I think we would know the sequencing of it. I would say that's secondary, though, to really staying focused on quality. We're going to regulate our production rates based on what we're seeing for quality. We don't have any predetermined goals in mind. We have some thoughts on what we might do production-wise, but every step of it's going to be coming from okays from the plant telling us we're ready for the next step. We're ready for the next step. As far as, operationally, our priorities are, we're implementing an MRP system, which most companies in the RV business don't operate under one. They're complicated, it takes time. But the benefit to it is it does make you somewhat more efficient in your purchasing. But the big benefit is you have a unit specific bill of materials. So you know exactly 3 years from now when a customer calls up and they want to replace the countertop on that back little corner piece that's unique only to that floor plan. We're going to have an accurate bill of materials that'll specify what was put in that unit. And if the next unit had a different countertop on it, it will be identified in our system. We're just now rolling it out. I'm really pleased. It's been somewhat of a struggle for us getting to this point. Our IT group we're in our testing phase just this week. We just started it, and it's looking really positive. So when you ask about our plans, right now we've got 2 products out. They're doing well, great customer acceptance. Now we're just getting the business ready to run. That's our priority. Once we have some comfort level that, man, we've got a good rhythm to what we're doing. Now we can start lightweight travel trailer, lightweight complement to our Model Z, a half-ton towable Model Z, full-size luxury fifth wheel. Those things are all on the near horizon over the next probably 12 to 24 months. Kind of right around the corner, but we don't want to be distracted by that. We got what we got. Let's just really execute. And if we do that, we know we're going to win, get our share.
Motorized anywhere on the horizon?
Well, I wouldn't say no to that. It's not on the short-term horizon, but that's such an interesting question. I think there's opportunities there. And I think with our model, we probably will have opportunities. I think we have kind of a unique ownership team because we have so much depth with the guys that we have that, at some point, maybe to spin one guy off to do motor homes for us would be very, very possible. But man, that's, you asked the question, so that's the answer. It's certainly really possible, but I don't even want to be thinking about that.
Ron, it's great talking to you. And I was looking at my notes while we were preparing, and I remember doing business with you as a RV senior group president at Thor Industries, working with you at Grand Design, etc. It's great to see you back in the trenches with the rest of us.
Yeah, it's fun. I was just kind of reflecting on things, Sherm, thinking about this and getting ready for the call. And we go back a long way. And we're also lucky to be in this business. I love being retired, but I love being back in it too. It's challenging and it's interesting and compelling. And there's so much about it. It's just great folks. And, when we call up customers just to, hey, how are things going? You're hearing all these stories about their lifestyle and what they're doing. I love being back in it.
And we appreciate the hell out of you spending time with us on this Capitol Talk.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Take it away.
Yep. Want to thank Ron, want to thank RXL for their continued sponsorship. And, who knows, maybe tomorrow spring will arrive, although looks like we might have had summer last weekend. Anyways, Ron, thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you, man.